Hey, Punk Uncle here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back into my garage for another installment in this series of videos that's going through documenting the build process of my new Evil Following. I've got a bunch of parts here that we're going to put on the bike, so hit that subscribe button and stick around. So we're going to get into this right now. First thing I'm going to do is put the saddle on, and then what I'm going to do after I have that is take it off the stand. I'm going to get my saddle height set, even though nothing's on the bike yet, and I'm going to be pulling the seat post off again, obviously, to run the cables for it. But I just want to get my saddle height set so that then when I go put the bars and stem on, I can kind of decide where I want that stem to be, if I wanted to pull some spacers from below and move them up above. Just kind of get that stem height, have an idea where the stem and saddle are going to be in relationship to each other. Maybe that's 1/8 of an inch high, but it's close enough for right now. I just want this to be able to look at where the bars are in relationship. Just trying to generally line it up with the tire so that it's on relatively straight. Top cap back in. This bolt is what keeps that fork pulled up into the frame. So kind of an important piece here. Just finish line fiber grip. It's a good thing to use anywhere where you've got carbon fiber and aluminum coming together. So seat tubes on your seat posts, it's really good to have a bit of this in there where where the two are making contact with each other. I've never run these E13 bars before, but I can tell you they are light as a feather. Read your stem. Most of them nowadays, they want no gap at the top clamping point. So you want to clamp this all the way tight, torque it when you're ready to have it be there for good. And then you tighten and torque the bottom one, and there's usually a little bit of a gap at the bottom end. But not every stem's like that. That's just what I've been seeing on the last few I've had. Okay, so bar and stem are on, and I think now we'll go ahead and put the brake calipers on front and rear. First thing I'm going to do is put the spacer here, this little riser adapter, if you will. This is going to allow me to run that 203mm rotor. Most forks come with the caliper mount set for 180, so you just get one of these. It's like $7 or $8, and then you can run the bigger rotor. Okay, so you can see now that we have the caliper mounted, that it's lined up perfectly with the rotor here coming through, you know, exactly where it needs to. Where if you didn't have this adapter with this big 203mm rotor, you wouldn't even be able to get the wheel on if the caliper was there, because there's not enough clearance. So that's the whole point of that. Or you can run a 180, you know, and just run it stock without the adapter. But if you want that bigger rotor and more stopping power, this is kind of the way to go in my opinion. The rear. just a smidge so they can move around. These XT calipers look kind of sexy, huh? Now we're going to put on the rear derailleur, and this is really easy as far as mounting it. It's just this one mount screw here, goes to the hanger right underneath the axle here. And that's that. Well, the GoPro's dying on me, so I'm gonna finish up here with the phone. But anyways, that's where we're gonna stop for now. The next video, I hope to finish this bike completely. So get all the cables done, the brakes, get it all dialed in and ready. And then from there, we're gonna be doing ride videos, tests, comparisons, all kinds of cool stuff. So we're getting close. I appreciate you hanging out, being here. If you would hit that subscribe button, it'd be real cool if you did.